Hi, it's David here with Future Trading. I'd like to welcome you to the channel. Before we get started, let me just pull this in frame because they're doing this right now. I'll try to come back and read this. We had these cyclical levels here. They come in the moment the bar closed. It's not the overshoots that you need to be concerned about. It's how they trade away from them. That's the main thing. And so here they came in strong, but they just couldn't hold it. They came in again, tried to get it, but that's not working. They're coming in again. They're at the lower part of the chart. That's not working. They tried to come in, but it's not holding the center of the chart. They're turning around. They're trying to plot one here, but I don't know if that's going to pan out. So I'll try to bring that back and read it for you for a few moments, and then we'll conclude the video. All right. So welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. I want to go on record because I know they just had an event over there in the Middle East here, and it may impact markets performance this week. So I want to give you guys a chance to look at the daily charts, the NQ, as well as the Bitcoin, and tell you what it is that I think is likely to happen. And hopefully, you can survive the volatility because it may increase when the market comes up. And I want to give you a chance to see what that looks like before taking my break. All right, so I'm going to make this video as fast as possible. All right, so bear with me. Just press pause or hit rewind if I say something too quick. All right, so thank you so much for stopping by. This is a live threshold, how far the live candle will pull back before resuming. The price action trend, you just need to be able to count to 10. And then, of course, the price action method. Now, I use the majority principle, which states that the minority is compelled to follow. There's three different ways that it shows on the chart. The universal chart scale, I teach you how to read your hard right edge. That way, you do not have to look left to know when the market will turn. If you need additional education, I do provide that. There's tons of videos here in live trades. All right. Now, let's get into the charts. Again, the cyclical levels here. If you don't have this in your indicator suite, just hit the download link and you'll have it. Uh, just giving you context of how to read it. All right, this is how to read it. I'm not going to talk about this the whole way through, but it's on the chart when it comes to the dailies, and I want to give you a chance to just look and see what's possible. They were on the wrong side up here on Friday, and again, we can look at this on the chart. But I want to just show you how to look at the levels. They were on the wrong side, and you can just see the moves away. That's all. You can see them how they move away from these areas. Not so much the overshoot. That means nothing. All right. So now the Bitcoin. Here's your Bitcoin. Your daily Bitcoin is having a problem. All right. Now it's still above the mid of the chart. What's important about this, if you're new to the channel, is that this is happening in front of the candles. All right, so you don't have to look left, but we can talk about what's over there if you want, but you don't have to look left. They had the levels coming in up here on the high. You had your increase. And again, these levels come in the moment that the bar closes. All right. They came back for the retest. They even plotted one here, but jumped up, which is fantastic. They got down here. They're not holding this, and that's your problem. Definitely after they plotted this level too, try to say, hey, we're going up. They came back in with it with the resistance, tested it, and now they're falling out of it. All right, so this could lead to something again, given the context of everything that's happening with the stuff that's in the Middle East. All right, so they're still above the mid of the chart. We just got to see what this may become. They're running away. They're running away. So let's see. Let's just see. Again, that's important. I may not be back for a while, so I want you to just kind of give eye as to what it can become. The NQ. So we got a cyclical level here. I didn't show this chart on the last video. It was kind of stripped down with just this signal on there. And that's the price of that bar. Okay, so the low of that is 21,685. You want to see if they cannot close beneath here, but again, the way they closed on Friday may pose a bigger problem. All right, may pose a bigger problem, and we'll take a look at that. The moment that the bar closed, these numbers come on. All right, so just like the level, but here's the issue. We have this cyclical level here. The way they close is just not fun. It's not favorable. I did tell you guys. They had the levels on the way down. I did tell you that if they're not going here, they're going here. My concern is how they're going to do it at this point. And definitely, again, with what had taken place here recently. So I want to go on the record and kind of put this on the channel. So do bear with me. I'm going to take my break. You had that cyclical level came in here. They leaned over to test it. And then, of course, bang, they took off to the upside. Here's the cyclical level here. Kind of held it just a bit. Came back above. And we're just kind of stalling again. And so now here's your cyclical level here. I don't think we're going to make it from here up here. I don't. definitely with what's going on. So we may close beneath the 685. Holding this pivot is important to keep the speed in this, all right? To keep the speed in this move. And if that's going to be the case, we need to see something to this effect come out of this right here. We would need to see that. If not, they're going to lean over, and I hope that they do not break this turn. It's likely that they could, and so I would just want to say that to you. It's likely that they could. Should they do that, they'll still be above the center of the chart. I don't have the scale on here, but I can just draw this in here for you. They'll still be above the center of the chart. So even if they did come lean down under here, they would have to do it fast. We don't want to trend down. Clearly, we already got 1, 2. That's 2 bars. We don't need 7. And of course, we can turn around and we can go back up. So right now, I still state that the 685.50 is important, but given how they close, now let me show you that. Now, all the indications on the chart are up here listed. Not every one of them. The block indicator isn't listed up here. You can find that in your maps. So your map block, it has a name to it, but that's part of the name. But the rest of the indicators you can find here, and you can just add them to your chart if you would like. And again, this is a new addition I did in the update. You can, if you don't have it, just use the link. So the cyclical levels, again, the moment the bar closes, they got really fussy here and they popped up. Now, the problem that I'm having with this, and I wanted to make sure I show you guys, is this right here. Okay, so they had a block come in right here. They pulled into it. They fell out. They ran up there on Friday and they're kind of leaning back down. They have cyclical buy here, but they, again, from above, with them coming back down, they plotted that cyclical short here. Now, can they hold this high? I don't know. I don't know. They got really busy right down in this bottom here and popped up. Okay. They may very much may gap down. Okay. I just want to tell you that they may gap down. Then of course that block here that they had leaned into, and then of course on Sunday they, kind of jumped up and they kind of, they did that. All right. So they did that there. So this may cause a bigger issue. This may cause a bigger issue. That level that we put here, okay, that was up here. I don't have enough days. Let me add a couple more days to this. Give me 1 second. We got to add some days to this. That level that we had back here, let's go. Let's just give it about 8 days. They've managed to stay below it the whole time. And this is the bigger problem, if you ask me, that they stay below this level. All right, so we had drew that here. I'm going to show you what video that was in. That was in this video here. Okay, that was 6 days ago. We drew that zone up there, and again, that's happening the moment that the bar closed. Okay, the moment the bar closed, that level comes in. They had it up here on this high, and they just took off with indications the whole way down. All right, so we got them firing off the whole way down, just dropping, just dropping. Again, breaking through the support levels. You can see those levels in there, and they're just blowing right through them. And so the overshoot is not the problem. All right, that how they trading away from these levels is very, very significant. And not only that, again, our block map indicator, that's important. And so they did, again, had this going on when they leaned into it. They kind of came up and then boom, they gapped and just kind of traded. But I just want to tell you, yeah, we definitely got a problem on our hands. Now let's look at Bitcoin here. Let's look at Bitcoin here. We can do it here too. See what we got. Okay, so yeah, we got blocks here too. They kind of fell away from the ranges. You kind of got the same thing going on, really. They fell away from the ranges up here. They got really active. You can see those dots in there, and then of course those levels was here too. And then they trapped that buy level up here into the top of that range. And then of course all those buy signals under that low, and then here's your resistance level, and they've just fired off signals the whole way, all the way down. You had your resistance, they overshot it here, but then they came back under it, and then of course they had that block for that lift with the buy, but that didn't work, and then they just begin to move down. Then down here, you can kind of see it here. They had the block come in here, they got above it, But the problem is that they're coming in with the block above. And so that's in the right location. And so we may end up seeing them through this bottom here. Now let me read this to you just for a moment. And again, we're trying to see whether or not that daily can hold up on the NQ. Bitcoin is running into a problem. All right. So I'm gonna just say that to you. They would need to turn this around kind of immediate if you're going to be trading Bitcoin more long term. They need to hurry up and get to it. Again, here are your buy levels, and they're falling under them. They're in the right location for it to fall again. So if they're going to go down some more, this is what it would look like. All right. So we're just going to use what the market is suggesting. That's saying that they can get here. Now, clearly, they have a trend back down. So here's your trend. I'm not going to be up here long. Just want to give you this information really quickly here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's 7. All right. So they may still owe us a little bit to the downside here as far as the trend distance, which is here. Whenever you have a thought, you have the end in mind. They almost made it. Whenever you have a thought, you have the end in mind. So you can just use the candles and it'll tell you how far the market is planning to go based on what it's already doing. And so they did it again. Okay. So they're suggesting, the market is suggesting that it'll get here. The center of that trend is roughly, let's say right here, right near that cyclical buy level here that they managed to not honor at all and just kind of, fell right through it. So right now, the center of the trend is here. They're suggesting a move lower. Okay, and all you have to do is listen to the market. You don't have to make it complicated. It's just like the daily. All right, same thing. It's nothing complicated. It just takes a lot more time. This is the wick zone. I like to go with the wick zone on the colored bars, but we'll go with this one. I'll put this here. Should they be able to tag it and just kind of take back off? But I like the colored ones to be honest with you. They're starting to stall right here on the colored one here, but I don't know if they'll hold this. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think they will. So let's see. The buyers may have it wrong again here. Uh, they may have it wrong. Now, if they're going to hold, clearly the overshoot here. Let's see if they can get back above it and just take off back to the upside. If not, we got a problem on our hands, and they're definitely going to make. Yeah, so that makes sense. That's roughly one and the same. All right. So, and these are all the listed indicators on this chart. All right, They're pretty much standard stuff. Okay. Pressures. I got pressures that'll fire off if the majority kicks in, and then of course again that's the new indicator that's added, which is our cyclical support and resistance indicator there. You can use it again. It's simple. It's not complicated. This is what we're looking for. We're looking for a larger wick, smaller wick, or the smaller body, larger body, and we want this body to fit in there twice, and then we want the mid of this bar to exceed the high, or the mid of the bar to exceed the low, and that turns the bar red or either green. That's all it does. And then of course with the wicks and the bodies, we have the IN indicator. And so that'll light up put the text on the bar and tell you that we have a bigger wick, smaller wick scenario, or smaller body, bigger body scenario. All right, so let's see if it can get it down. And you can get all of the indications. I got tons of them. It's roughly about 300 indicators. You can have them all for $100. All right, so just want to give information away. All right, if not, just read the stuff that's on the chart. All right, it's really simple. Again, I'm not here to sell you anything. So if you want to learn how to trade, just watch what it is that I'm showing you. Again, wicks, bodies, and then of course how to perform, how the bar is performing. So if majority can take over, then yes, it can get down the board. So right now they're wanting to hold this threshold. All right, so they're wanting to hold it. We're kind of stuck in between two. All right, so we're stuck between this one and that one. All right. Now, it cannot be both. Clearly, you and I both know that. It can't do both. It must go up or either it must go down. There's only two available things that it can do, and only one exclusively it will. So we have a downtrend on the board. So I expect them to continue down. Let me just allow it to hit that trend distance, and then I must go. Must go. But I definitely wanted to go on record to tell you that your daily is running into a problem, as I stated before in the other video. But now, with what has transpired in the Middle East, there may be an uptick in volatility. And so the move to the upside would have to be really, really drastic, if you will. It needs to come in immediately, like today. Okay. But if not, yes, we're probably going to end up trying to move down and possibly take out that last swing that they did to the upside on that daily. And with your Bitcoin, we still got a little bit of room before it gets to the center of the chart. And so that means it can slide down a bit more should it want to. Should it want to. All right. So want to get you prepared to deal with either, given today's climate when it comes to the geopolitical stuff that's taking place in the world. All right. So we got a resistance level here. Let's see if they're going to do it. I know the majority has just come on with the pressure. Now, this pressure indication is just letting you know the mid is above or the mid is below the bar. That's all it's doing. It's telling you that. It's something really simple. You can look for it yourself if you want, but if not, I do have indications to help you spot it. Okay. Okay. So it closed there. That's kind of one and the same, to be quite honest with you. And it's an increase, so it's saying, okay, we got a bigger wick, smaller wick scenario. So that's kind of one and the same. All right. So once it makes this distance, I must go. Okay. So it fell through this threshold here. So clearly that's not it. Will it lift up? Now again, I like to go with the colored bars. So if they're going to stay down, I hope that that's the case, so they can hurry up and hit this target. But if not, they're going to try to pull up here. They may pass this. Let's see if they're going to go into this threshold here. All right, they're giving us the majority move for the upside here. They're saying that they're wanting, we got to see if the bar can close in that manner. They may just overshoot the level and fall back down. They're not going to turn this bar green, I don't believe. Let's see if that be the case. So this one didn't work to the downside. That didn't work. All right, so that's fine. Sometimes you're going to get that loser. So that's saying that they're going to get up here to this threshold. I don't trust what's here at this point. I'm gonna be honest with you. Let's see. Mainly because this resistance just came right in at this turn, so that's not okay. You may get the overshoot, and that's fine. But let's see if it can turn back down here. Let's see. We're coming into this threshold here. Okay, so we're not exactly moving up yet to get to that distance. We got this one being a loser, so this one didn't work. This one's still in play unless they break the back of the bar. Okay. Well, actually, it's this bar here, because this signal here, this arrow here, is for this bar. This arrow here pointing down is for this bar. Okay. Now this is our no close level. So the bar after the colored bar is your no close level. So you just don't want to see them closing above this bar. Okay, you just don't want to see them close above here. Okay, now that's your stop bar, that's the no close bar. And of course, this is your stop bar. This would be your no close bar, but we just don't want them way up here. Not if they're planning to get back down. Let's see how that plays out, and then I will absolutely let you go. The indications is meant to make it just simple. That's all. Nothing complicated. You don't need it. But again, if you're in the market for it, I do have it. Try to teach you how to read the chart without it. All right. So let's see if it can go ahead and break down now. Let's see if it can get down there. You got a smaller body. Remember, the body can fit in there twice. That's what we're kind of looking for. So maybe now, maybe, I don't know. Smaller body, larger body. You just need the body to be able to fit in there twice. Oh, it's not happening. Okay, so they may want to go up a bit more. Now they can go above this bar. This is the no close bar. You just don't want them closing above here. That's all. This is your hard stop, hard stop, hard stop. So they're layering in the stops on this to try to move it down to these two targets here. Okay. These two targets here, they're layering those stops in there. Now for this pattern here, clearly they already made that distance, but these two here, we're still waiting for that. All right, and again, this is a no close level. They're overshooting this threshold. We got to see how this play out. Now this may be a bigger wick, smaller wick scenario if they turn it around. It may end up being the larger wick, smaller wick, but they would need to turn it around. Okay, so we don't want them to go above it, go above the wick. We would need them to begin to close that bar back down. Let's see if it's willing to take off. Now, this is not bad. It got over halfway to the distance. That's not bad. The threshold of that bar, I didn't outline that. I'm so busy looking at the upside there. So the moment that the bar turned green, okay, so that bar turned green when this bar finished. They dove in the threshold. They pushed up. They're just not making it all the way to it here. They're kind of using this threshold here, kind of went in there, and they're coming out of it. So we may have the bigger wick, smaller wick thing, kind of going on with. Now here's the smaller body being able to fit in there twice. So you kind of got both of these scenarios. The increase indicator isn't picking up every last scenario. It's something that you would use as an assist to kind of remind you to look for it. All right, I just want to tell you that I try to code it the best I can to pick up as many of them as I possibly can. But again, all the indications that I code is meant for you to learn from. All right, so I want to make sure that I say that to you. There are tools that you learn from. All right, you got to make sure you know how to read the chart. All right? Indicators will not make you a better trader unless you know how to read the chart. You got to be able to read it for yourself. They're just there to assist you in the process. All right, my tools are meant to do that. So the things that I try to provide people is to help them be able to read charts. Read it. Can you read the chart? Given the foundational information, and then of course, there's additional things that I go over to give you a better sense of what to do with price when it's not doing majority. All right, because sometimes it don't do those three things. All right, sometimes it don't, and when it doesn't do those three things, I tell you what to look for. And that's in the private community. So let's see if it can go ahead and get down. Trading is simple. It's not complicated. It's not. I can assure you it's not. I'm trying to show you how to look at it very simply. Here's a bigger wick, smaller wick. The body can possibly fit in there twice. So they're indicating, and that's all we do. We look to what it is that they're saying. What is the market saying to us? Okay, what is it saying? Will it make it this time? I know they tried this before. Can they make it this time? We're still at that resistance level. Okay, so we didn't just immediately take off. We didn't run away from it. So it's indicating now all the pieces are there again this time. Now all three are there. So that's stating that it can get here. And again, it's like you and I. Whenever you have a thought, you have the end in mind. All right. So we listen to the market. What is the market's telling us to do? It's telling us to go short. That's all. So just go short. Here's the trend. Okay, here's the trend. Yes, it became cyclical and it popped up. I get that part. But it's not a trend. It just, responding. It's just responding. Someone wanted to buy, and that's fine. That's fine. But if you have a trend, why not just go with the trend? Why not? I really like to go with the colored bar, but we're going to see if they can pull in here and just kind of take back off. Well, we don't really want them back up here, to be honest with you. I think that'll just be just too much to do. Don't come back this way. We've managed to get past these guys. Let's see, can we stay away from them and just kind of go in and work our way down. So let's just go with this zone here. I know these two zones are really close anyway, and we already tested that. So let's just see if we can just go in and get to that target. And once they make those targets, I am absolutely off of here. Again, just wanted to go on record and show you guys the daily chart. I want to make sure you see the daily, what I'm seeing. Hopefully it aligns to what it is that you think. And just, keep in mind volatility may change going into this week. It just may. So don't want you to be taken off guard by it. I want you to know what's actually happening. So they broke the low. All right. So let's see what else they plan to do with this. They're making this a very long, drawn out process, I must say. They're testing the zone again. Let's see if they're going to come back out of it. If they decide to move up again, I am going to have to go because I don't want to be up here much longer. I'm going to be honest with you. I just wanted to share with you guys what the activity looked like with those dailies and how they ended the day on Friday. They ended the day on Friday in a very just bad way when it comes to the information here. So let me go back to that. Now this is your Bitcoin. Okay, this is your Bitcoin. They do have a map here. They do. All right, so they have a map here. They're pushing down into it. All right, so let's go with the NQ. Let's come back to this. Again, they have something here that's just, it's bad. It's bad. They even hit this one as well. So all of this is just bad. That's all. It's bad what they're doing. It's really bad. Okay, so this was fun, down in here. That was fun. Okay, but I want to just give you an idea of what it is that they could possibly end up doing. Let's see, can we get this done? See, can we get this done? If they don't break down here, I'm going to have to go. See, can they go ahead and break down? Again, you had your cyclical short here. I know they overshot it. That's not the problem. Is could they just run away from it? No, and so they're turning it back around. It's kind of what happened here. You had your cyclical support to get it back up, and they just kind of belted through it. And the same thing here. They just kind of belted through it. They did end up getting up there. I thought just maybe, but they again they had they had problems up here anyway. So let's see if this time they're willing to go ahead and drop down. They're almost to this trend distance. Okay, so it's coming on again. The pressures are coming on again. Let's see if it can go ahead and just push. It wants to do this. I will absolutely have to get off here if it goes up. Don't want to hold the video. Just check your charts. That's all I can tell you. Go back and check your charts and see if it made it. See if it made it. Give me 1 second. All right, so let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. This is moving extremely slow. Okay, come back down. Yes, they're hitting that threshold again. They're coming out of it. Let's see if this time it would actually make it. Let's see. No, it's not going in that direction as of yet. All right, so that's my time with you again. I don't want to hold you long. And I would say to you, during this week, please keep an eye out on the volatility, just given the occasion of what they got going on. I wish you all the best with your trading. Take care.